This caveat that I am no expert on Himachal Pradesh. By the way, I will also say I am no expert on agriculture. I am an expert on people who live off agriculture. I understand more of farmers than of farming. And whatever I know of farming comes through my knowledge of farmers, of being associated. When I write about farming, by the way, I go and stay with the farming community that I am writing about. That is a must for me, that I have to be there for some time. So, I went out on a couple of days ago to Kangtedi Panchayat and to the office, to the village office in the Kukoi village. Though people came there from Kandroda, I'm sorry if I pronounce the names wrongly, from Kandroda, Kukoi, from different places, people came to that village office to meet us in Kukoi. Sorry? Shimla district. Shimla. But yeah, we met people from Kadrada and others in Kadrada and others in Kukoi. In Kukoi. Yeah. Yeah. So one thing that, I mean, many things struck me about it. Firstly, I mean, this is the most rural state in the country. Okay, 90%, it's 90% rural. Predominance, overwhelming predominance of small and marginal farmers. So that is a very, very serious place to begin. Okay. Now, on the whole, because of our past history and traditions of high investments in public health, public education, public employment, because of a past tradition and history, Himachal Pradesh has remarkably good human development indicators compared to most other states in the country. I believe you are somewhere around 5 or 6 in the I don't know the exact number, but you're definitely in the top 7 or 8 states in the country in terms of human development indicators. Now, one of the things of the last 20 years of neoliberalism is the state withdrawing from those very investments. Imagine that this new government, you know what it has privatized? I never thought that you could privatize that. They are privatizing Anganwadis. 4,000 Anganwadis in this country are being handed over to the private management of Cairns India. You know who Cairns India is? Front company of Vedanta. Now when you hand over, the most vulnerable period of childhood is 0 to 6. In that 0 to 6, your basic health is formed. Your basic mental health is formed. And you're handing that over to a private profit-seeking corporation. Yeah, like outsourcing motherhood. Which also we do in Maharashtra, Gujarat. We have outsourced motherhood, rent a womb, surrogate motherhood. That is renting, that is outsourced, ultimate outsourcing. Okay, but here also it's an outsourcing of child care in that sense. A state which says we will not bother about the 0 to 6, let it be privatized, let it be taken care of by a profit-seeking corporation. You are condemning tens of millions of Indian babies, particularly those amongst the poorest, particularly those amongst Adivasis, Dalits, to perdition. And by the way, in the village of Kukoi, when every single farmer that we met in that room is a Dalit. Okay? I don't believe, did even one of, when learning about their holding size, I was told that not a person in the room owned more than 1 biga. That was the size. But those are the ones, you know, whose trees are being cut down. There was some resistance over there by the women to prevent the forest department from cutting them down. So one, the pressure, then also remember that other large problem of farmers which I did not discuss, all over the country without exception, land acquisition. Okay. Now Himachal has several unique features which you know better than I do, and I don't need to waste your time and my time going over them. You have 67% of land declared as forest. Also historically in the country, this way of declaring land as forest land can lead to tragic and it can lead to very funny results. In Madhya Pradesh, the state legislature, assembly, secretariat, all around forest land. They're all encroachers. Okay? They're all encroachers. You have not defined who is an encroacher. So the guys who cut down 80,000 trees for hydroelectric or other projects, guys who rip through the hillsides, they are not encroachers, they are not people causing damage. But a person owning, 9/10 of a bigha is your enemy, is your encroacher. I think there has got to be some very serious relook. And how do you define who is an encroacher and what is the nature of the offense? You have no such thing. There is no such definition that I can see. Second, to begin with, your marginal farmers and your farming community is restricted to a very tiny percentage of total geographical area. Theoretically some 16-17%, out of which farmers are able to cultivate about 9%. Right? So it's actually you're starting on a very small base, and it is remarkable that all the new projects, the hotels, the resorts, the whatever else that they are thinking of, and industrial projects, all this is coming on prime agricultural land. So within that 9% also, you are taking away land for various entertainment, industrial, exploitative purposes. You're not taking it from another land bank. You're taking, because you've gone and put everything that, you have decided that 67% is forest, though only 23% is forest cover. Is that 23% right? Or is it slightly higher?
Effective.
Effective cover is 23%. So, what the tiny percentage of land that Himachali farmers have, that is being eaten into. You are creating a situation of serious alienation, massive discontent. The pressure is coming. Remember this is the state with the second highest percentage of Dalit population in the country after Punjab. And disproportionately, the pressure is falling on those sections. It's not the resort.
Out of this 67%, I think more than 50% is above the snow line, which is neither
No, I
for the
understand.
forestry nor for the agriculture.
Yeah.
It is not
That is correct.
Yeah.
But so I'm saying, as it is, you're starting on a microscopic base of land that is available and actually cultivable and in farmers' possession. The cultivable land that is in farmers' possession, on that you are bringing in your projects and stuff, which you are, let me put it this way, welcome to the rest of India. This is happening massively elsewhere. It now has reached your little Shangri-La. Yeah. Okay, so it has already come. I mean, it's not that it came yesterday. You've been having your quarrying and your cement and your hydro projects for a decade, 2 decades now. But because of the last 20 years of neoliberal economic enterprise, the intensification of that activity has been tremendous. So the pressure is coming on poor people everywhere, on poor farmers everywhere, and it's not just on farmers. It's on the rest of the agrarian population also. Okay, now many of you have read about the collapse and suicides of weavers in the country, in Andhra, in Telangana, in Karnataka. Remember this, when farmers collapse, when agricultural laborers go away looking for other jobs, the weaver has lost his first market. The first market of the weaver is that thin, soft, white linen which the agricultural laborer wears in the fields. That is now being replaced by synthetic material which burns the skin of that fellow. Okay. So weavers have lost their first market. every other sector of agrarian society is also affected. That's why we don't say, that's why there are two stages. One is the farm crisis and one is the agrarian crisis, affecting not just agriculture but the whole of the countryside in that sense. So Himachal has, and then I see the same stupidity. It's comforting in one sense to know that, that stupidity is very secular and universal. Congress governments do it, BJP governments do it. What they have done here with your chil, with pine, is what we have done in our states with eucalyptus. Okay, put a wretched non-native species that drinks water from all the plants around it, and in the case of pine also has an effect on climate, on winds. When you have, in Wayanad, huge teak plantations have changed the wind directions or having an effect on the winds that help the cultivation and the maturing of the crop. The winds that come in from the Western Ghats are running into gigantic teak plantations. You need to study, BGVS needs to study whether the winds are being affected or dispersed by large, gigantic monocropped pine plantations. So you have that problem. You have the land, you have a terrible problem, which everybody has a terrible problem in land use, as I've already mentioned. Your new universities, your resorts, your industries are coming up on prime agricultural land. You have problems with, you have the kind of, so I mean that was my thing. One of the things that I was interested in as a rural reporter interested in agriculture was one of the persons there, I think his name was Atul Rathod maybe. He was explaining, because I don't know the economics of apple cultivation. See, these are not as far as I understood, theirs was not the fast yielding varieties or the short term varieties. A person puts 17 years of work. I was trying to calculate the input cost. Put 17 years of work at 1200 rupees per tree into that for 17 years. Then you get a sample. Then you spend a little more to nurture that tree. Then around 22, 23, 25 years you're having a mature plant, which is a mature tree that is giving you something. You put all this money and I come and chop down your tree. Okay. These are tiny people with less than a biga. Now you can be, if you're a rich guy, you can get away with anything. You can be a giant. See, remember, it's the same as the farmer committing suicide for 12,000 rupees worth of debt, while Vijay Mallya runs away with 9,000 crores. So it's one of the questions I've been asking myself. When Prime Minister Modi came to power, he said, काला पैसा इतना बढ़ गई, हमारा भ्रष्ट पूंजीपति ये पैसा बाहर लेके चले गया, स्विट्जरलैंड में, आइल ऑफ मैन में. when government will bring back every पैसा, हर देशवासियों को मिलेगा 15 लाख. That was the campaign. Today I'm wondering whether he said he'll bring back 15 lakhs or export 15 lakhs in the name of each Indian. Because you have 2,37,000 entities in Panama. You have Vijay Mallya leaving with 10,000 crores. By the way, IPL is not just an issue of water. Enforcement Directorate has got cases against them on thousands of crores of unpaid money for their overseas transactions, especially IPL 2, which was held in South Africa. So a lot of money is leaving the country. You have that problem as well. And therefore, in land use, in the policies, and in jobs, as you are crushing the farming sector, your unemployment is going up. As you know, it's not just restricted to Himachal. My home state of Andhra Pradesh, 2011 census, number of farmers fell by 1.3 million. Number of agricultural laborers went up by 3.4 million. So what is happening is that millions of farmers are falling into the ranks of the agrarian underclass. That is what is happening. You're creating the whole country is creating an explosive situation. And in your situation, in your state, you're doing it with has peculiar and unique characteristics. So will the results have peculiar and unique characteristics.